What's up, we're Sachi.
And we are chatting with Milky.
The new single, Wildfire, this brand new smash hit single. We wrote it in Stockholm in 2022. Mm-hmm. We brought it back to Sydney and we kind of wanted to change some of the vocal elements. At the time, the instrumental was quite minimal. We had the bass line, we had the drums, but we rewrote the verses with our friend Aston. Then it sat in the hard drive in the vault for another couple months, and we revisited it with our friend Ella, who sings with us in the live show, and she wrote a little bit more on it. We recorded, so Kazzy, who we first wrote it with, Aston, who rewrote the verses, and then Ella, they all sing on it. So it's like this kind of like choir of incredible vocalists. And then we got our friend Maz, who's the rap scientist. He did some MC duties on it. And yeah, it's one of these ones, typical Sachi fashion. We kind of just like revisit it while we're kind of going through all of the rest of the demos and working on other things in between until we get it to a point where we're in love with it. We've been playing it in the live shows and in DJ sets for about a year now, over a year. And every time it's just gone absolutely mental. The fans, like the diehards already know all of the lyrics, and it hasn't been probably known the lyrics for about a year now. We're so stoked to have it out in the world now. We can't wait.
We kind of wanted to make just a very simple kind of 90s inspired house kind of song with a few modern elements, and then the vocal was just doing the majority of the heavy lifting. So we knew we just had to make the production complement the vocal and not take up too much space. It's just like pretty normal, like a lot of this M1 synth, which is like this very vintage house synth that we used on a lot of that song, and yeah, just tried to make all the elements complement the vocal and sit in the pocket right, and yeah, it kind of came together pretty simply, and we just tried to not overcook it. I think that was the main thing. We were just like, let's just run with this as it is and not try to overcomplicate it and make too many different variations and sections and stuff, and just keep it real simple.
I personally love the final chorus. Ella Monterey comes in with this kind of call and response, which is like the same lyric, but the way that she kind of it really lifts the song. I think vocally that's probably my favorite part, and then the bass line is infectious. It's just that like classic sorry plucky bass sound that just it knocks every time. What about you?
I like the stuff that Maz did. And Maz is like, there's like another MC vocalist that's doing this like pick it up, kind of move it MC kind of vocals that we like sprinkled throughout, which I think was an interesting touch to put in there, just like to try to break it off from the pack a little bit and give it a little point of difference. So I think that was kind of like, it's kind of funny in a way but it's also kind of adds to the vibe of the song as well. Great question. I think we have probably simplified everything a lot more. I think also we've been DJing a lot more, which is different to like the live show that we've been doing, and we've been playing in heaps of like little sweaty clubs and stuff, like similar to the clubs that we started playing at when we were young. And I think that's definitely influenced the type of music that we've made. We've kind of realized what certain things work better in the dance floor and in clubs and stuff, and have tried to put that into the production a lot more. So yeah, I think we're just more is less has kind of been our mentality over the past. More is less. Sorry, less is more has been more is less. More is less, but also less is more production style. That has kind of been influencing like everything we've been making. So more is less and less is more.
Yeah. So true. I think Will and I both love travel and are so like fueled and inspired by being in new environments, new cities, talking to new people, going to new clubs, seeing like the local kind of offerings of places that we haven't been before, which is what we were doing when we were doing our writing trip for Wildfire and for this project that we're working on that is going to be coming out, Wildfire and post-Wildfire. Yeah, it's really important to us because I think when you're traveling and when you're working with local artists, you're getting this kind of like very cosmopolitan, international, like different cultural kind of crossover, which is in all of our favorite music. It is music that is very worldly, and you've got all these influences coming in from lots of different parts of culture and people and backgrounds, and that to us is like, I think especially when we started writing Wildfire and this collection of songs was something that we were really excited about exploring more, of like, how do we make this sound international and global, and like it's a kind of amalgamation of everything that's going on in the world at the moment.
I've got another point to add to that, Nick. Well said. No, I'd say also writing in Sweden was definitely eye-opening, because English isn't like Sweden's first language. The way that they write songs, they write them in such an interesting way that it kind of, they're just like a lot more like to the point, I think, is the way that they write songs. I can't exactly explain it but they really just don't overcomplicate it, and they just go for very like simple word structures and very simple phrasing, which I think is like why Swedish pop songs have done so well around the world, is like this simplicity that just like is kind of relatable in a way, and relatable to a lot of people from all over the world and all different ages. And I think that was really eye-opening, seeing how they do that and how they structure the songs and stuff, and definitely like having that working with Swedish artists in that way like definitely kind of helped the song have that kind of slightly more, I don't know, international feel in a way. I think we definitely have a lot more room to play. I think that we've always kind of been a lot more like locked into making quote unquote what we would think were singles, but now we've kind of got a lot more room to play in like very different styles of music, and very more club focus, and then more radio focus, and more kind of ambient focus and long form, and like very emotional sides of it. So there's just a lot more kind of, we're just dipping our fingers in a few different sauces and tasting them all, and yeah, I think it's all coming together quite deliciously. Yeah, we're just really excited to kind of like show off some new flavors. Yeah 100%. Sorry to use such sauce references.
I like the food reference. It's perfect, because it is like that. It's like if you've got more ingredients to cook with, then you've got a more varied feast. And I think that's what we're trying to do with the album, is just a delicious varied feast, but that also, you know, it works well. All the dishes work well together, and you sit down and you eat it all with your friends, and then afterwards you feel amazing and you go dancing. The Sachi live show is like such at the center of everything that we do. I think we spend as much time in the studio working on the show as we do on the songs, frankly. So like when we're coming into a kind of a release kind of timeline of, okay, we're going to redo the show, it's, you know, months in the studio making edits, figuring out what transitions work best into each other, figuring out the sonic side, figuring out then how we're going to perform it, there's so many things that we're thinking about, like from, I think the overarching umbrella thing is like, how are we going to create the most kind of enthusiastic experience for the audience, because Will and I both start, like, you know, we're fans first, and we love music, and we love electronic music and live electronic music, and there's so many incredible reference points for shows that we've been to that we've just left and just been filled with that kind of, you know, that real joy of that we all know and love of when we go and see our favorite artists. So it's really important, and I think there's a part of it where like we occupy dance music and electronic music, which at its core is a live kind of style of music. It's built around people being in a space together. It's about the energy of the collective. It's like the rave culture it's long and dense, and there's so much that has come before us, and I think for us to be able to put our spin on that, offer our perspective on that, is the most exciting thing that we can do. It's been, and then as we were talking about, like, we did do some DJ shows last year, which is, you know, frankly the polar opposite, where there is prep going in, you know, we're song hunting, putting playlists together of songs that we think would work well in and amongst our stuff, and thinking about the arc of the DJ set, but every night it's completely different, and it's completely improvised, obviously. We at least do it that way, and I think that's also a very integral part of the culture of dance music and electronic music. So to be able to ride the line of both of those styles of delivering the Sachi experience is a joy. And I think, you know, variety is the spice of life. So we love both sides of it.
2024, we have in store a lot more collabs at the door. So I can't stop. Yeah, anyway, can't stop rhyming. Just a lot. 2024, we've got a lot more. Collabs, freaking collabs in store at the door, ready to get adored. We're just going to be working with a bunch of different people. That's kind of been what we did for a lot of last year, 2023, was just working with a bunch of different artists that we necessarily probably wouldn't have collaborated before. So a lot of different artists in different genres and a lot of artists in our genre, of course, as well. So it's been really fun just like working on a bunch of music. And we're just going to, our goal for this year is just put out a bunch of different stuff, but a bunch of just have our high output and release as much music as we can and also make as much music as we can. But very excited for the different collaborations and stuff that we've got this year. I think right now for me is maybe Disclosure. I think like they've been a band. It's rapid fire. Disclosure.
The KLF. Madonna.
Dave Grohl. Minutes to Midnight by Linkin Park. It was the first album I bought on CD.
Yeah, Green Day. American Idiot.
Did I say Borat last night? I would have said Borat last night. It would probably still be Borat because I feel like low-key that's... I'll do a more serious answer. I feel like maybe it would be... Interstellar. I think it would be Interstellar.
Maybe Uncut Gems.
Tron Legacy.
Yeah, Tron Legacy is a good one as well.
It depends on the show. Sometimes I'm thinking about... recently I'm thinking, please just let us get to the end of the show without anything going wrong. That's normally what I'm thinking. Or sometimes I think, fuck, this is fun.
Sometimes.
Is the kebab shop going to be open?
What's for dinner? It's on the new stuff. It's on the unreleased stuff. There's a song that we have called 405 and the bass line is infectious.
I would say there's this horn part on Sparking My Fire. We were joking about this the other day, and it's like a sax part. Yeah, there's a sax part in Sparking My Fire that I'm hugely fond of.
I said Hannah Montana last time, but it's Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, it's got to be Miley. Double Miley.
I Try by Macy Gray.
Similar lyrics. I try so hard. Linkin Park ain't got so far. In the end, it doesn't even matter. Tune. Linkin Park. ID. I can't remember. Try so hard. Fuck, something like that. Mine was, I think I said this last time, 21 Pilots at Spark Arena probably in 2017. Never heard of them before that show. Went in there. Left a huge fan and stole a bunch of their ideas for our show essentially.
I saw the Renaissance World Tour last year on Beyonce's birthday and I haven't been the same since. Lord.
Yeah, Lord would be good. I think I've been listening to a lot of Royal Otis and they did that cover of the Murder on the Dance Floor, so I'd love to see them do more dance songs. So if they wanted to cover one of our songs, that would be sick. Murder on the Dance Floor.
There's also this Mongolian band called The Who. Have you heard The Who? They've got this song called...
The famous Who?
Nah, it's the HU. Oh, right. And they're amazing. They've got this song called Wolf Totem and it's all like... I feel like their take on a Sachi song would be incredible.
We already are the Backstreet Boys.
The New Zealand electronic answer to...
Backstreet Boys from Wish.
There's this venue in America and it's like a crazy amphitheater that has a view...
The Gorge.
Yeah, do you know where that is?
It's in Washington. I think it's in Washington.
I've just seen so many... I've never been, but that looks amazing. That would be sick.
I've seen a bunch of these videos from people playing in Tulum recently, these crazy festivals, so maybe somewhere in Tulum that would be cool.
What was the last one you did?
I think it would have been I Miss You by All Time Low. I think that would have been my last.
Blink-182.
Oh, Blink-182, sorry. This time, why are these rapid questions like they got us thinking like it's like a math equation? Like,
You can cut the
yeah. Cut the silence. Maybe it would be. I think mine would probably be. Oh, it's got to be Murder on the. For some reason, Murder on the Dance Floor is just ringing bells in my ears right now.
Mine, my last one I think was Like a Prayer by Madonna. But I also recently did Hurt by the Johnny Cash version of Hurt, and it went down like a ton of bricks. Did not hurt.
It would have been Rhythm and Vine's last year, 2022/2023, that New Year's. Last year. It was just like, it was one of those shows where everything went perfectly and it was almost too good to be true. Like, you got off stage, we're like, fuck, nothing broke. We're like, not saying that everything breaks every time we play. We're just like, everything, we're like, it so falls apart. But you know, when a show goes well and the crowd was into it and all the pyro went off and all the visuals and everything was just perfectly aligned, and the stars aligned that night. I think that was probably our greatest show.
Yeah, it'd be that one or the Rhythm and Vines 2 years before that, which was the first time that we played the new live show that we built with our friends Human Person. And
went down like a ton of bricks.
It hit. It was a hit. They loved it. It was fun. We sounded great. It looked great. Iconic New Zealand festival and venue, Gisborne, which is where my family's from, my dad's side of the family. It was just killer. Just great.
I think in the dance industry, it's definitely been Fred again. I genuinely feel like he changed like how dance music is like perceived in like by the mainstream masses. Like I feel like everyone loves dance music now, where maybe a few years ago it was more of a slightly more niche. But I'd probably say like people that changed, it was probably the Beatles who really like changed actually like song structure. And I don't know, I'm not a songologist.
It's kind of crazy because like you go into the Beatles, you say the Beatles, but then the Beatles were like influenced by like Buddy Holly and Chuck Berry and stuff. So like, but then they were influenced by somebody who's just like, at what point do you stop? Who was the original? It would have been an early human tens of thousands of years ago banging on. I feel like it was early Homo sapiens 50 to 100,000 years ago in Africa. I reckon they had the biggest influence on the music industry.
That is probably scientifically true.
Calm down.
Maybe like just say yes. Yeah. Just yes. Comma dot say yes. Yeah. Well, actually no, it would be just dot say yes. Yeah. Everything. I think it's the only thing, well, in my opinion, that I've ever wanted to do, and now I get to do it, which is now it's everything. But it's it's everything that we've ever worked towards. It's like just our entire lives pretty much.
Yeah. It's the ultimate connector and emotional communicator and
international language.
Yeah, universal language. It's one of the best. It's one of the greatest things that our species has produced. The final countdown.
Crazy frog. Nah.
Finger boy.
Nah, probably be like In a Bloom. Like you time it perfectly, so it's like the boom, 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 as everything's like crumbling. Like,
or Stress by Justice as well. I feel like it's going to be something real intense. Stress by Justice.
Yeah, which is basically like a siren.
Yeah. Or Rollin' and Scratchin' by Daft Punk.
The final countdown would actually be, it's the final countdown.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.